Hello. Welcome to
Monday with the Mavens.
All right, guys. Today we are doing Q&A
Out of the hat.
style.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
I know. There are some questions in here that I don't know. Well, I think there's questions in here that neither one of us know about.
We pulled some from Facebook. We pulled some from Instagram. We stuck them in the hat, and I did put one in here that is my own question.
Well, we pulled some from all of those places. I had a handful of client questions that have come in that are just reoccurring that I thought you guys might be interested in. And so, anyway, let's do it.
Let's do it. If you guys have any questions along the way, please put them in. We have Facebook over here, Instagram over here. We'll keep our eyes open.
Oh yeah, we're kind of far apart today.
We
bouncing.
are. But we're so happy to have you here.
Happy to have you here today.
Gosh, you guys, so much goodness going on right now. If you guys are interested, I'll just put this out here. We sometimes say this at the end, but if you guys are interested in learning more about what we do, chatting with us, having a free consult with one of our coaches, you can head over to our website, macromavens.life. Click on the hop on board button. It doesn't commit you to anything, but it lets you have a conversation. And my goodness, like, we have got the privilege of doing some pretty amazing stuff with our clients. So, and it just keeps getting better and better.
I wasn't listening to anything she said.
It does, I promise.
I did hear it gets better and better.
Yeah,
and
just
I
like
agree.
Like everything just keeps getting,
Yeah.
like, I
was going to have a sip of my iced tea, so I was thinking about if that was rude to do that on here or not.
Nah.
Okay.
We hope you join us. Take a drink of water or iced tea if you have it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wiggle.
Okay, why don't you go first?
Let's do it. I'm gonna go first.
I told Haley I'm gonna try really hard to be efficient with my answers. If you guys are new to us, that's hard for me to do. There we go.
Sit close. Oh. I was like, I don't know this question. Because we split them up. Okay, this says, do you ever have anybody in the program that the program doesn't work for? That's a good question, actually. That's a really great question. You know, I think that I guess I'll answer it since I read it.
Yeah.
And then you can answer it too.
I guess that what we do is I pull one and read it and you answer it. Is that what we did last time?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, so here, let's restart. Do you ever have anybody that the program doesn't work for?
Yes and no. Yes, in that if somebody comes in, and I think that everybody starts with good intentions, right? But if somebody comes in and they're not able to be consistent, then they are probably not going to get the progress that they want. Honestly, even making small changes can make a world of difference. And so I'd like to believe that everybody that's come to our program has won in some way or another. But I have had a couple of clients over the years that, well, I'll give two different examples. One that just really struggled to hit their numbers. And when you're not hitting your numbers, and what I mean by that is we give our clients an assignment for calories and then for macros, for protein, for fats, and for carbs. You don't have to track forever, but for a season, that season of specificity really allows us to retrain the metabolism. And when you're not able to consistently hit those numbers week over week, we can't retrain the metabolism in the way that we want to in the most effective way. And so, you know, we're just really honest with our clients. Like, that's part of having accountability, right? Like, we're looking at all of the information, we're giving feedback, we're saying, like, this is what we'd like to do, but in order to do that, I really need you to do A, B, and C. And there's just been a couple clients that just have not been able to do it.
Yeah.
The great news is the large majority of our clients do. It doesn't always happen right out of the gate. Like, we sometimes really need to work with them and dialing that in and figuring out what's going to work for them and making sure that they're still enjoying their food and kind of all of those things. I have had one client that was fairly consistent that we just were not getting the response that we wanted. And so we looked at a handful of other things, and she had some pretty significant hormone and thyroid issues going on that she got in with a medical provider. We were able to establish some of those things. She still definitely had benefit. She had more energy. She was shedding fat slowly. Her body composition was shifting, but it was definitely not the type of response that, for what her data showed in her consistency, I would have seen. And so we were able to dig a little bit deeper. She had pretty significant polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is PCOS, so just dysregulated hormones, specifically her testosterone. So anyways, yeah, it can happen. However,
I thought you were going to be like...
I'm going to be concise.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. It's not common, and the biggest reason for it is inconsistency.
Yeah, you got to want it. I mean,
You do have to want it.
simple as that.
And we're here to help.
Yep.
Okay.
Your turn.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. You guys can't see the dog, but she got aggressive.
Ooh, ways to be budget friendly with food. Favorite easy breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay, I might have to refer back to
Okay,
this because I
sounds
have a
good.
short memory. Okay, so budget friendly with food. I love that because food is so expensive right now, you guys. It is like incredibly expensive.
Can I
So-
turn that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. And then you can just bump it right back to where it was.
Okay.
So budget friendly. You know, I think there's a lot of things that you can do to help save money. Oops, sorry. Just playing
It's okay.
footsies. To save money on food right now. I think that buying food in bulk wherever and whenever you can is a great idea. And what that looks like for us is we buy I think protein is probably the biggest kicker.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive thing. And I don't buy a lot of my protein from the grocery store. I will buy pork and I will buy chicken from the grocery store. But other than that, like beef comes from, I'm really fortunate. My husband's family, their property is basically on our property, and he raises Texas Longhorn cattle, and we eat those. And then my husband is a hunter, and so he will go out and get wild game for us. So as far as that's concerned, that is like ideal. If you can raise your own food on your own land, that would be amazing and more budget friendly than shopping in the store. However, there are lots of things you can do. For instance, Butcher Box is a great option if you want good, organic, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, all of the things that you want to check the boxes on. Their prices are really good, and their meat is
It's excellent.
superb. It is so good. It comes completely frozen, shows up at your doorstep. You can decide how often you want it delivered and different things like that. I do think that is a pretty cost-effective way to do it. I also, when I go to Costco, I will buy I'll buy like a lot of chicken because chicken is one thing that I do buy at Costco. I'll buy a lot at once, and then I'll throw it in my freezer. And then like as prices kind of adjust like to the crazy markets that we're having right now, I know that I have food in my freezer ready to go. Same with like pork tenderloin or any of those kind of bigger cuts of meat that I don't already have in my freezer. So also, I really think this is a key, is if you plan for your meals, there is so much less waste. And I hate throwing out food.
Yeah.
I hate it. And I feel like I do it too often. Even if I plan, sometimes I don't get around to it or whatever. And then and it's usually like lettuce or greens or some fruits don't end up getting eaten and they get tossed. I really hate that. So if you can catch your bananas before they go overripe, or if they do go overripe, throw them in your freezer. I have a freezer full of bananas that we use, in various baking things, or that my daughter will make a smoothie with or whatever. So yeah, freeze it if you're not going to use it. Same goes with like greens. Like before your greens go bad, if you know you're not going to use them, throw them in the freezer. They're great for a smoothie. We throw greens in our smoothies. I throw them in my breakfast. Okay, that was the other thing. I just reminded myself. Favorite easy breakfast. I eat the same breakfast every single day, whether I'm at the top of a reverse, bottom of a cut. I eat 2 regular eggs with the yolks and 2 egg whites. I fry them up in a skillet with some bell peppers, mushrooms, onions, and then a green vegetable, zucchini or asparagus. And I cook those till soft, and then I eat that usually with a little bit of plain yogurt instead of sour cream and some salsa. Super simple. I love it. I can eat it all the time. If I'm really low, like if I'm like crash and burn at the bottom of my cut, I might have 1 egg, 3 egg whites instead. You can adjust things as needed. Sometimes I'll throw some cheese on there if I'm at the top of a reverse and have room for it. Okay. Lunch and dinner. Dinner is iffy. I will schedule out my dinners. That's the one meal that usually gets planned. Honestly, I usually cook something out of Lily Eats and Tells, out of one of her cookbooks, because it's so delicious and so easy, and the macros are preloaded into my Fitness Pal.
Yeah.
So I love that. And then I can get a little wild with lunch. And when I say wild, it means like sometimes I eat salmon and sometimes I eat a chicken salad.
Yeah.
Actually, Emmy makes me lunch a lot of times, but it's always heavy on the protein and light on carbs and fat. and then I save those usually for my dinner. So
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not gonna do this every time, but I'm gonna add just a couple quick things. So as far as budget friendly, Haley already mentioned it, bulk foods, but not only bulk foods in what you're buying, but bulk foods in how you're prepping. So
Yeah.
for instance, a couple things that I do almost every week is I have like 6 pounds of organic chicken tenderloins. You can shop around, you can get deals. There's even this thing that comes through town, probably every town, regardless of where you're at, where you can twice a year get a better deal on things like that. I throw
Wait,
them
what
in
is
2
that?
different bags.
Wait, I don't know what that is.
There's like a chicken service that comes through town.
Chicken service?
Yeah, I'll tell you all about it. In fact, when I get information on it, we'll share it here.
Chicken service? I didn't know about a chicken
A
service.
chicken service. Like, just really ask questions, guys. Like, ask, put it out there. Like, does anybody know of
Does
any
anybody
good
know about
deals
a
on
chicken
X, Y, and
service?
Z? I'll get the details.
Okay, we'll share
We've
the
only used
chicken
it twice.
the chicken service details
Yes.
when we have it.
Anyway, so I'll do like 6 pounds of chicken tenderloins. I'll do 3 pounds in one bag, 3 pounds in another bag. I put them in a marinade. I freeze half of it. I put half of it in my fridge. I can just pull it out and cook it as I need it. You can throw it on top of salads. You can eat it alone. You can throw it in things. I make these really delicious almond flour tortilla pizzas with it. Like, there's so much you can do with it. I also, at least twice a week, do something in my Instant Pot. I often do carnitas or barbacoa or shredded chicken, and then the family can choose if they want it in a burrito, if they want tacos, if they want a bowl. I can customize it. I can throw it on top of a salad. It just makes it so much easier, and you're always going to have easy protein sources at bay. I do eat animal proteins. If you don't, there's other creative things you can do too, but not only buying bulk, but cooking in bulk, but using what you're cooking in bulk strategically. If you just do a little bit of planning, it can really stretch that dollar.
Yep, and you can even cook up to 6 pounds of tenderloin and put half of it in your freezer, and then you don't even have to cook it the next week.
Yeah.
If you don't go through that much. We go
Yep.
through it, but
Yep.
okay,
Yep,
my turn.
yep.
My turn.
Your
What you gonna
turn.
get? Do you cook separate meals for your family when you're on a plan?
Oh, yes and no. Dinner, no. I cook, for the most part, I cook the same dinner for our whole family. And the example like I just used, like I do think that we have an unorthodox schedule, so we actually sit down at breakfast more together, all 4 of us. But I think that you can really easily plan for something that you just pre-track. If you're tracking, you pre-track your dinner, you work the rest of your day around it. Then you know you're going to sit down and have the same thing with your family. It depends. If you're all in different areas for lunch, you might eat something different for lunch. Just have things on hand that fit, but don't feel like you're always having to make separate meals. Like, you can plan a meal that even kids will enjoy and still partake in it and enjoy it and work your day around it. It doesn't have to be too complicated. It just takes a little bit of strategy.
Yeah. I don't cook separate meals. That's the answer to my
Yeah.
That's the answer to that. Nope. You get what I make, and that's just what's for dinner, unless you want to make something else.
Ooh. How is food affecting my hormones?
It's just a simple question.
I know. We have a whole live on that.
Yep.
Maybe we'll share it after this.
Yep, totally. So, oh my gosh. Everything you put in your body affects your body. I mean, it seems obvious and it seems kind of silly, but that's how it is. And our hormones are, look at her taking a sip of her iced tea while I talk.
It's affecting me right now.
Yeah. It's affecting her hormones, and she's feeling a
Yes.
little bit zoomy probably, especially since she's cutting back on her caffeine. Anyway, that's another story. So yes, the foods you eat absolutely affect your hormones. They affect all of your bodily systems. And so depending on what you are eating is going to determine how it affects your body. If you are eating a lot of unnecessary fats in your diet, then it's going to have a profound effect on your hormones, especially if you're a female. If you're a female, you need a certain percentage of your daily nutrition to come from essential fats. That's
Healthy fats.
Healthy fats. And we talked about unhealthy fats actually a couple lives ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seed oils.
Seed oils. And so anyway, you want to have at least minimum of about 30% of your daily nutrition to come from healthy fats in order to help support your hormones and also absorb your vitamins. So
That's for females.
for
It's
females, a
different
little bit
for
less
males.
for males. But one thing that, especially if you are a female, and we are experts in that because we
We're
are, is you really want to support your hormones. And the best way to support your hormones and to get we call it hormone harmony, where your hormones are balanced, they're working for you, is to make sure you are dialing in your nutrition. And that means that you are eating carbs, fats, and proteins in the right percentages for your body and for your lifestyle and the way you live. And if you it is very specific to each person, and it really is determinate about like how much you exercise, like how much protein you can handle. all of your lifestyle is encompassed in it. And so really, if you are curious about it, it's a pretty in-depth conversation for each person individually. But if you're concerned in any way, I mean, first talk to your healthcare provider.
Yeah.
Secondly, you can hop over to macromavens.life, click the hop on board button, and we have coaches who are very experienced in dealing with hormone issues, especially when it relates to nutrition and how to get things balanced and get you feeling your best.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Just a simple act of consistently fueling your body and your brain has a profound effect on your endocrine system.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like, some of the hormone outcomes that we've had with our clients are some of my favorite.
I know. And you know what's really fun too is if you are not a client but you're thinking about it, if you can go into your healthcare provider and get your labs tested before you start.
By a provider that actually knows how to test hormones.
True that, true that. Anyway, if you can get tested and then, 6 months or 12 months down the road be tested again to kind of see how things have shifted and changed, it's really, really fun to see.
It is. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Why is my weight up even while I'm on a plan?
Ooh, so there can be a lot of reasons for that. I guess I would have a question to that question. So not knowing who the sender was, I would first ask, is this like a little spike that comes back down, or is this a continual gradual increase? So let's do the first one. If you are being consistent, like if you truly are hitting your numbers and you're working with a coach and we're systematically taking through something, and you have and one of your goals is fat loss and body recomposition, then our goal would be to see your graph go down over time. It's not going to be a consistent downward trend. You are going to have spikes. You're going to have peaks and valleys as long as the overall trend is downward. And the reason for a lot of those spikes, there's a lot of reasons.
There's a bazillion reasons.
Yeah, you could be having a season of higher stress so that you have more inflammation and retention. You could have a harder workout the day before. You could have eaten a saltier meal. You could have taken electrolyte. You could have poor sleep. You could be having, depending on where you're at in your cycle, let's say you're ovulating or you're coming into your bleed week. There are so many reasons why that scale might temporarily be up, and that's one of the reasons, although it's only one data point, that we want our clients to track their weight daily while we're working closely with them so we can see the overall trend. Because if you only took your weight once a week, we don't know if that's a day of the week that you might have a spike or that you might have a dip. So that's why that overall trend is really important. Now, if the scale is consistently going up, and you're hitting your numbers, we are likely at a surplus. We're likely at the top of your reverse where maybe we're starting to go into surplus land, and that's where we would want, once again, depending on your goal. Yes. Depending on your goal, that's where we would want to potentially consider a short-term deficit. If your goal is muscle building, and or weight gain, we would want to keep you in that surplus for a window of time, which can be uncomfortable for some people, and it just depends on your goal and how you want to get there and the timeline associated with it. So there can also be a lot of other factors that we might dig into. Maybe you've started a new medication. Maybe you have had some form of I just had a client with really severe poison oak that had a major inflammatory reaction. So and she needed to take a steroid, so it was expected that she was going to have some short-term weight gain. That's why it's really important to let your coach know if anything significant changes, because it can have a short-term effect on the scale. But the scale is just one piece.
Yeah. Yep.
So
maybe you're at the top of the reverse. Maybe it's time for a cut.
Yeah. And maybe not.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I actually want to answer this one.
Oh.
But what are your thoughts on intuitive eating?
Oh, well, you can answer this one also, because you and I might actually have different
opinions
on it.
Okay.
Yeah, intuitive eating, it's a tricky one. I think that it can
all the buzz right now.
Yeah, well, and I think that it can mean, I think that some people say, well, I'm a very intuitive eater, and that is an excuse for eating garbage. Sometimes
I would ask that person, well, are you reaching your goals?
Yeah.
Because if you are, great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Use that intuition.
Yeah. I wish mine was that good. I don't know. When I have goals, I got to have a plan, and I got to be strategic about how I'm going to reach those goals, which most people are. Or most people, I feel like most people operate in that manner.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I guess I would say I am not a big believer in intuitive eating. I think that my intuition will fail me. And so I don't trust my intuition to do the things that will get me to my goals. Whereas if I have a plan and a structure, and I know that I do A, B, C, and D, then I know that will equal my result, and hopefully that's my goals. if you are somebody though who, okay, let's say I'm in maintenance and I've tracked for a long time and I'm in maintenance, which is a range. I think that you can be more intuitive there. Like, I think that in that position, you have a little bit more flexibility. And I also think that you already know, especially if you have gone through a macro program where you've been tracking, you know what 6 ounces of protein looks like on your plate. You know what 10 grams of fat looks like on your plate, and so on. I think that you can be really intuitive and you can live in a really happy spot in maintenance. And I mean, I feel like that's all of our goal. And so I think that once you have the building blocks that you learn when you're in a macro plan and that when you're being coached, and then you can take that information and use it in maintenance and be more intuitive, I think that you can be very successful.
Yeah. I think that's exactly.
So maybe I'm a yep nope.
Yeah, I'd be a yep nope. I think that for somebody that's having a hard time reaching their goals, having a plan, a strategy, a coach, accountability, knowledge, like knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
To get to where they want to be. And then through that process, our goal with ourselves, with our clients, is that we make small habit shifts over time to be staying hydrated, to prioritize sleep, to understand the role of each of the macros and how you should fill your plate, the role of inflammation in food. Like, all of those things just become more intuitive, right?
Yeah.
And then, like Haley said, once you're in maintenance, I have a lot of clients that have been in maintenance for a long time and completely sustain their results, and they're not tracking with specificity because they just understand what their body needs and how they're going to utilize it. They understand true hunger cues versus just boredom snacking, and they eat until they're satiated and then they stop. And so, but that takes work to get there. So
yeah, and I think that also you have to be willing to understand and to know when you're like, you know what, I think maybe I need to start tracking again, or I think that my intuition has been taking me in the wrong direction, and then to be able to redirect, I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool.
What do we got?
I don't know.
This is fun. I like this.
Kind of my favorite.
I know, huh?
Okay. Can you save carbs or fat for something specific?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Amen.
So I would say, I mean, yes, absolutely. You guys, the whole point is sustainability, right? And so, yes, we do talk about the role of inflammatory foods and wanting to try to reduce or eliminate them over time. However, we also want people to live, and if there's something you want to fit in and enjoy, fit it in and enjoy. If you know you're going to be going to a party, a celebration, a barbecue, whatever it may be, and you know you want a drink or two, you want a piece of cake, whatever it may be, just pre-track it and then work your day around it so you know it's coming. I love chocolate. I eat chocolate every single day. I'm going to make sure when I'm tracking with specificity that that's pre-tracked so I know that I'm going to get it. And honestly, it actually helps me not want other things throughout the day. So I absolutely just be strategic about it, because the last thing you want to do is end up your day with no plan and having like a bunch of one macro left over. So just be strategic about it.
Yeah. No. And I always save a little bit of extra carbs and fat if I know I'm going to go out to eat, just because I don't typically, because you're not in control of how things are being cooked. And so I always, save a little bit of carbs and a little bit of fat for the unknown.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, we're moving through them. Okay, if you guys are just joining in, we are doing question and answer, draw from the hat style. However, if you guys have questions that you want us to answer, absolutely feel free to put them in the comments. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, and we are trying to keep our eyes open. Are you tracking currently?
Oh, yes.
Yes. I didn't for a long season.
I get to answer the question.
Oh, sorry.
No, we can both answer the question.
No, I'm not.
Yes, I am tracking currently. I am super excited, actually, I'm climbing, and really slowly, you guys. Like, it is not like, I am not, I don't know, I'm really enjoying the process. Sometimes I think that when we do this, it is, you do it because you feel like you need to, and I don't necessarily feel like that's where I'm at, but I feel like I'm in a spot where I can really enjoy the process. I feel like I'm really learning a lot about my body and how I respond to different foods, and that's really fun for me right now. And so I'm just slowly climbing my way up to a maintenance through the holidays, and then I don't know, and then we'll see. Maybe I'll do a cut. Maybe that'd be fun. Maybe that'd be fun for us to do a cut, or one of us to do a cut, and then to take
everybody through
take
it.
the internet through the
internet.
process.
I love it.
So how about you? Are you currently tracking?
I am. I took a good season off in maintenance and, felt good, but I just wanted to jump in for a season of specificity. Probably same, just, get into maintenance again through the holidays and then maybe consider a short-term cut. I don't mind loosely tracking. I actually like it.
Yeah, I do too.
But it's not for everyone, and not everybody has to track forever. And I did, I'll take, like the summer, I was super flexible. So,
I didn't track it all this summer.
yeah, and you can choose to do that. Like, once you have the tools and you understand what you need and how your body reacts and all of that, like, our goal is that our clients feel equipped and educated enough to get there, to meet their goals, and then just to know how to sustain them and then to reuse the tools when needed. So I think that's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah, I love the flexibility. You can track, you can not track, you can jump back in when you have goals to meet. I love that. Uh-oh. Wait, it's my turn.
Oh.
Oh, I know. You guys have joked about macros saving your marriage.
Saving marriages?
Saving marriages. How does macros...
say
how you have joked about saving marriages. How does macros translate to relationships and sex?
This is a fun one.
This is a juicy one.
This is a juicy one. Gosh, I think in a lot of ways. So I think first and foremost, whether you're a male or a female, when you are working towards a goal and you are feeling better day over day, you become more confident, more comfortable. You're more comfortable in your own skin. Quite frankly, you're more comfortable naked with your partner.
I've had clients tell me, like, in whatever, I don't think it's TMI, but I've had clients tell me a couple times, like, this is the first time I've ever felt comfortable being naked in front of my spouse with the lights on. And I was like, that is a huge win.
Yeah. Huge. And it just changes something. Like, when you feel more comfortable in your own skin, you're more open to a lot of different things. I mean, that gotta be careful with that.
Especially in regards to this question, right? Wow.
And so I think that there is that. I also think that we touched on hormones earlier, but you guys, when you are, whether you're female or male, when you are consistently fueling your body and your endocrine system responds and your hormones are in more harmony, you're going to naturally have a higher libido. A lot of women experience something like vaginal dryness. You're going to naturally be more naturally lubricated. Like, I know this might be TMI or uncomfortable for some people, but all of these things, like, the benefits are endless, and it starts with nutrition. Like, if we are feeding and fueling our bodies and our brains, they will work better for us.
In all capacities.
All capacities. And so feeling better in your own skin, wanting to be more intimate with your partner, being more open to, having the lights on, whatever
Showing
it may be.
Off your body.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, and then just having the hormones to back it up. Like, it's huge. And if you're better, like, if you're sleeping better, you're going to have more energy. You might not be as tired. You might be more open to I mean, it's just, it's
You've
awesome.
said that twice.
Okay. Trying to say it in a way that was palatable.
I think you did well. Good job.
Okay. Thoughts on hitting macros with junk food?
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about sustainability, and we talk a lot about, like, fueling your body nutritiously and anti-inflammatory foods. However, technically, we say this all the time too, you can eat whatever you want when you're on a macro plan, as long as it fits within the boundaries of your specific assignment. So let's say your assignment is, so many calories, so much protein, carbs, and fat, and you decide you want to go to McDonald's, and you make McDonald's fit. Sorry, there is something in my shirt.
Oh. I don't like that feeling.
Just a little creeper.
We're on a farm and have a black widow problem this year.
Yeah,
so.
I just want to make sure it's not one of those ladies. Anyway, so if you want to eat McDonald's and it fits within your macros, so be it. Like, there is zero shame, zero judgment coming from your coach, coming from us at all. However, if you are doing those things daily and you're still meeting your macros, but you're not hitting your goals, your coach might go in and take a look at things and might suggest a few shifts that you might do. And one of those might be, let's shift to more of an anti-inflammatory approach, see if we can push you beyond this plateau. However, I will say we have a client
Several.
who eats every single meal, is in a restaurant, is out, is a busy person, doesn't cook for themselves, and they are crushing it. And so
Just the consistency.
yep, just the consistency of eating to your assignment is so powerful.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? We're not going to rock the boat. If you are content and your life is cruising and you feel good with what you're eating, we're not going to rock the boat. However, if we do see that, like, something needs to shift in order for you to get to the next part of your goals, or in order for you to actually reach your goals, then we're going to push you in that way. So can you reach your goals and eat junk food when you're on a macro plan? Yes. Do we suggest it? No, but if it works for you, it works for you, and no shame from us. And if you want tips on how to adjust things, like, that's what we're here for too.
Some of my most successful clients are adverse to vegetables.
Yeah.
And so, yes, vegetables have so many micronutrients, and we want people, but if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to be successful from a sustainability standpoint. So you've got to use what you'll actually eat to consistently fuel yourself. We had a question over here. I did that this weekend. Pizza fit in, but my scale was way up. I know water, salt, inflammation, but not worth the mental bummer. It is. It's so tricky, but just know, like, that will come back down, because when we do have a more inflammatory meal, most of it's going to be water retention the next day or the next 2 days, and it will come right back down. It is not typically fat. Although, I mean, it would take roughly 10,000 excess calories to add a pound of fat. But if you do that time over time, for sure it's going to increase inflammation, and it will store fat over time. But enjoyable meal that you fit in, like, you might have a little scale spike, but it's going to go right back down.
Yep. No worries.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Let's see what she gets. You got another fun one. What's a perfect date look like for you?
Oh.
Perfect date. I'll answer this one too. That's fun.
A perfect date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just not my family, but just my husband
Just
and
it could be anybody. Just a perfect date.
I. Okay. Oh, I have so many. Okay, we would start by getting up extra early, before the sun rose, and we would grab our packs, and we would hike up to a summit of some fashion before the sun rose. We'd watch the sunrise, sipping on our coffee from the top up there, and then we would jam down, and we'd hop on some horses, and we would horseback ride through a meadow of wildflowers.
She's so specific. My goodness.
And we'd come upon a cabin at a beautiful lake setting where there would be a perfectly catered gourmet lunch.
Wow.
And I didn't know this question in advance.
I like that you're taking it this far.
And then we would hop. It'd be a nice warm day with crystal cool clear water. We'd hop in for a nice little swim, and then we'd lay in the sun. There's a black widow right there. Sorry. And then we would talk about all of our hopes and dreams and come up with this, like, brilliant idea. Ooh, and then a hot air balloon would just come and land right there, and we'd hop in, and it would cart us off to our next adventure. And then maybe we would, and then I'd get a wingsuit, and they'd take us off, and I would already have the skills for this, you see. And then I would jump off, and I would fly. I would soar.
Oh my goodness. She's just like, I love that. That's fantastic.
There would be so many
Can I
things.
go on that date with you?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's wonderful.
I like that question. Did you put that question in there?
I did put that question in there, and I'm glad that you got it.
Do you want to answer it?
It's not nearly as exciting as yours.
Sorry, you guys.
No, I like that.
I have big imagination.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Your perfect date looks very similar to mine. Lots of adventure and delicious food.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you ladies going on a trip again? If so, where? Ooh, I like this
That's
one.
a good one too. We are going on a trip again.
Where are we going?
It's not currently planned.
We're going.
But we are going, and we're gonna have lots of fun, and we'll take you guys with us.
Thailand, Europe,
Colorado,
yeah.
Oregon coast.
We get a lot of work done.
We do
when we
and
travel.
we are due for a getaway.
Has to.
Maybe we'll combine some of our perfect date in with our trip away.
We're doing it. Wingsuit?
Yeah, you know it. We'll for sure take you guys with us on that. I've heard you guys say there's more to it than calories in, calories out. How so? Oh, wait.
I ask you that. I have heard you guys say that.
Calories in, calories out. There is more to it because just like we mentioned in the previous couple questions about eating junk food, you can eat junk food on a macro plan. You can have the same macros as somebody else who's eating, you know, whole foods, vegetables, clean fats, nice, clean, lean proteins. And you can have the same goals as each other, but one of you is going to get there and one of you, well, you were both going to get there possibly. It may take one of you longer than the other because 100 calories of simple carbs looks much different than 100 calories of clean protein.
Yeah.
And so the way our bodies work, especially when we're talking about macros, protein is the most thermogenic of the macros, which means your body burns a lot of energy. Your metabolism kicks up. It triggers all kinds of chemical responses within our bodies when we eat protein that causes, it's thermogenic, it's warming, right? It's energy producing. Whereas like fats and carbs aren't the same. And so our bodies don't need to work in the same way when we take in carbs and fats as it does with protein. So that said, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes when people come to us and they are starting their first assignment, we may increase their protein, especially if their goals are fat loss, because we want that thermogenic process to start happening in their bodies so that they can start targeting fat and losing fat.
Yep.
So also, if it was just as simple as calories in, calories out, then it wouldn't matter what your metabolism's doing. If you were reducing calories and your metabolism is, let's say you have an adaptive metabolism to where you're only eating about 1,000 calories a day, you would continuously need to decrease your calories to lose weight.
You die.
But oftentimes what happens is like we're eating 1,000 calories every single day and we're not losing any weight because our metabolism has downregulated so much that we literally are just taking in calories to survive. Yeah. Like the only calories that we're taking in that we're eating are going to our survival because it takes a lot of calories to run our organs, to run our brains, to run our energy, to just get through life. And so if it were just as simple as calories in, calories out, we wouldn't have a job.
Yeah.
And honestly, our clients wouldn't be seeing the success that they are because we are able to manipulate it in such a way that our bodies are so powerful that they take the fuel and the calories that you are eating and using it, not just storing it, but using it.
I have a client who hasn't been going that long, and her body is super responsive, but she is up over 1,000 more calories per day than when she started and just continues to shed fat. We might not even take her through a deficit of any kind because she might not need to. And I mean, it's amazing. And that's a perfect example at her lower calories. And she's not super active. She hasn't changed her activity level at all. At her lower calories, her body had just adapted. And so now we have her significantly higher calories. And her metabolism is so happy. And I guarantee her hormones are too.
So I would say for a very healthy person who has a very healthy metabolism and is eating a good amount of food, the whole calories in, calories out does typically work. Yeah. It is true. Like if you are going to eat fewer calories than you're burning, you're going to lose weight. However, if your metabolism is downregulated so low to where the calories that you are taking in aren't even enough to fuel your body, then you're in trouble.
Totes. Totes magoo.
Toots magoots. Okay, we only have a few more minutes.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions.
My daughter's got a dentist appointment. I don't exercise. Can I still be successful on a macro plan?
Yep.
Sure enough.
We're going to keep these short and sweet. Absolutely. We have tons of people that come that are fairly sedentary, that don't change anything but their nutrition and have tremendous success. If you are sedentary and you start, once we get you underway and get you comfortable with the food, we are going to encourage you to move your body just because it's great for longevity. But the success really comes from the nutrition.
And if you are somebody who doesn't exercise, there's this crazy thing called newbie gains.
Yeah.
And it is legit. If you haven't exercised for like years and years.
I wish I could get newbie gains.
Me too. What we love, I mean, it's amazing. If you're just starting to exercise like for the first time in your life and you will have progress like off the charts. Like
Yeah.
for people who have been exercising for a really long time, it's really difficult to, to meet those physical goals you have with just exercise.
Yeah.
And so, but if you're new to exercise, oh man.
We always say that you cannot exercise your way out of a bad fork. And you can't, you guys. Like, body composition is 80% plus nutrition.
Yeah.
It truly is. You do need to do some form of resistance training if you want to ultimately see muscle once you've shed the fat, but it's all nutrition first.
Yep.
And it's so important because that's what's going to get you feeling good too. So,
Foundation.
it's huge.
It's the foundation.
Okay, we only have time for a few more. Oh, is organic and or grass-fed actually that important?
Well, gosh, that's a really personal question.
Yeah.
I would say for some people, yes. For me, I don't eat 100% organic. I think that there are some foods that,
We have a tool on the toolbox of our website.
There you go. It's the Dirty Dozen. Talks about the foods
Yeah.
that you want to avoid eating non-organic and foods that you really want to focus on. So if I go to the store and I'm like, oh, I can't think of an example. Bananas. Like bananas. I'm like, I don't buy organic bananas because, you peel off the giant peel.
Yeah.
I don't actually really eat bananas. I don't like bananas, but my family does.
Yeah.
But I don't buy organic bananas. They're not super dirty. Even if they are sprayed, they're not absorbing a ton of that toxicity. So I think it just depends on you. If you could eat 100% organic and grass-fed, more power to you.
That's obviously the ideal. It's
Yeah.
just that we know that that's not.
It's not realistic
It's
for
not
everybody.
realistic for everybody.
Yeah.
But there are some that are more important than others. And if you're interested, go to macromavens.life, click on the toolbox. We have tons of free tools, including that Dirty Dozen overview.
Yeah, I try to eat all of our protein, all of my meat that I eat. I try to be as organic as possible.
Especially hormone-free, because
Yeah.
it really can disrupt your hormone harmony.
Harmony. Do I have to hit 0 on my macros every day? Is there any wiggle room?
There's definitely wiggle room. So we really want, especially in that season of specificity where we're retraining the metabolism. Once again, you guys, it's not forever, but it is important because we want that metabolic response. So we really want our clients to be within plus minus 5, meaning 5 grams over or 5 grams under, within that 10 gram range, each macro each day. If you're doing that, you're automatically hitting your calories. If you do that, we can systematically increase your calories slowly over time, shifting your macros with a beautiful metabolic response and a huge shift in body composition. So there you
Yeah,
go.
and 10 grams, like that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting through these quicker these days.
Yeah.
How do I adjust my day to get more protein?
Oh, that's easy. You just eat more protein.
How do I eat more protein?
Yeah. You put it in your mouth and you chew it. No, I would start at the beginning of your day. I try to preload my day with lots of protein. And so that looks different for every person, whether or not you like eggs, whatever it is. Whatever and I think that we, as in general, are people who feel weird about eating certain foods at different times of the day. Like, I don't know, it feels like maybe a little weird to eat salmon for breakfast or a chicken breast for breakfast, but why? Like,
I eat savory for breakfast all the time.
not just savory, but like, I don't know why specific foods feel weird to
Yeah.
eat at different times of the day. They shouldn't.
Bowl of carnitas with pico de gallo and
Yeah.
some almond flour crackers to dip it with is
and
like
some
a really good
and
breakfast.
Some scrambled egg whites for a little bit of bonus
Throw
protein.
some avocado on there if you have room for fat.
Yeah. So anyway, just increase the portions of protein that you're already eating. So if you're already planning on, like for instance, we go to Tap and Vine, which is a local restaurant here in Southern Oregon, and we'll order double chicken on what we eat. Oftentimes, if I eat a salad, I'll order double chicken. It's an easy way to get another, 4 or 5 ounces of chicken, depending on how much they give you. But yeah, just order double chicken.
Yeah.
Serve yourself double chicken. There's nothing wrong with it. I oftentimes am eating much more protein than my husband at a meal, and that's cool.
Just try
Protein is cool.
It is cool. Just try to increase
Yeah.
a little bit at each meal. And then if you are a snacker, make sure that you have some protein-friendly snacks if you're having a hard time hitting your protein.
Yeah.
I think you'll find over time you won't.
You
because you'll
won't.
actually end up really enjoying it.
Yeah, I actually had to reduce my protein intake, my percentage recently, and now I'm blasting through my protein.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sad day. What does maintenance look like?
Ooh, okay, I'll try to be quick. So the whole goal of maintenance is for you to have a more flexible metabolism and sustainable results. And it is absolutely doable. Whether you do that with tracking within a range, some people really like the control of loosely tracking, or if you truly have the tools and the habit forming to go to a more intuitive style of eating where you understand those habits as far as hydration, as far as making sure that your meals are well balanced, the rough amount that you need for your activity level, and then you can always jump in with more specificity. But the overarching theme is that we get your metabolism revving and working for you. It's a high functioning engine, and you have flexibility within that metabolism, and that then you can sustain your lean body mass results. We see it all the time. We love it. And then you have a higher caloric intake, more flexibility, a more flexible metabolism, and you can sustain it because you're not restricting yourself from things.
Amen.
Okay.
Okay, quick.
Quickity
Got
quick.
a couple more minutes. Uh-oh.
What is something you know about each other that most people wouldn't? I like these ones.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. And I think I can share it.
Okay. I'm a little nervous. She knows a lot about me.
I do. Okay, a couple things. I'll share two things. One that not many people know about Emmy is she has a tattoo.
I have a tramp stamp.
She has a tramp stamp, and not many people see it. But I've seen it lots of times.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I remember the first time I saw it, I was surprised. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
I will. It's whatever.
Whatever. It was a choice that she made when
at
she was
17.
Yeah. The other thing I'll tell you about Emmy that not many people know about her. Gosh, I have so many. This girl can do a backflip on the trampoline like you can't even imagine. And you can just shut your trap about my cartwheels. So she is really good at backflips. And the other thing that I love about her is she's super competitive. Like, and I love that. Because I love a good competition. Mm-hmm. But we'll get on the trampoline. I won't, because I won't compete with her on this. But she'll do a backflip contest with her kids, and she is ruthless. Ruthless. And her kids will never win. Never
Scout
win.
beat me last weekend.
Well, then you better get on there and practice some more, girlfriend.
I know. I don't let my kids win.
Oh,
I
no.
make them earn it.
Yeah. And she actually just beats them every time. Anyway, those are a few things about Emmy that you might not know.
Ooh, okay, I was thinking. Okay, there's a lot. Okay, Haley is the best female white rapper I've ever met. She can spit the rhymes.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like super impressive.
Okay.
She's
easy to impress. That's what.
No, it's super impressive. Speak to me in Spanish.
No.
She is like the most beautiful, fluent
Oh.
Spanish speaker. I love it when she speaks in Spanish. It just makes me so happy. She is awful at cartwheels.
Oh my gosh, like the worst, you guys. In fact, the other morning, we're in morning class, like
Jenny says she loves
with
this.
a bunch of people. Jenny probably knows that about me too. With a bunch of people working out, and she's like, "Haley, show us your cartwheels," and I'm like, "I'm not doing that."
Oh gosh, there's so many. She
Here we go.
No, she's like she knows things. Like she, okay, I'm just going to say a few things. She's very knowledgeable about like world events, world geography, world history, so much more than I will ever retain. And I just love that.
Aww.
And she is like all about the underdog, like
Aw.
all about the underdog. And
So I'm always cheering for her kids.
Well, she will fight tooth and nail for the underdog, and I love that.
Aw, thank you.
Also, she's a gypsy, and I love that.
Can't take that
It's
up.
okay. You can't be good at everything, Haley. Yeah, she's pretty much really good at every single thing in life except for cartwheels.
That is not true. Let's
pretty
moving
true.
on. Moving on. Okay. This might even be our last one. I've been in a calorie deficit for a long time and I'm not losing weight. What's going on?
You've been in your deficit for too
Too
long,
long.
and you need to get out of it. But you need to get out of it strategically. You do not want to jump. Let's say you're in a deficit at 1,300 calories. You don't want to jump up to something like 1,700, 1,800 plus calories overnight, because if your body has adapted, your metabolism has adapted to that lower level, then if you jump too quickly, you're going to store fat. So you want to systematically and slowly increase your calories over time, fueling and feeding it at the same level week over week with a slight increase. And you really should be, if you don't know how to do that and do it strategically and hold yourself accountable, you should be working with somebody that does, because your macros will likely shift throughout that process too. And it doesn't have to take long, especially if you've achieved your results and or if you want to continue to shed body fat and shift your composition. You will find if you start fueling yourself more, that will probably start happening, but there needs to be a strategy to it.
Okay, and then one more.
Oh, I ask you.
No, I'm gonna.
Oh.
I just we're just gonna wrap it up. So
Okay.
it's actually not on the paper. It's on my mind. I'm just gonna be real honest. So how do I become a client?
Ooh, okay. If you are interested in working one-on-one with a coach, then you're going to go over to macromavens.life. You're going to click the hop on board button. It does not commit you to anything, but it lets one of our coaches reach out, answer any questions, see if we're a good fit. We are not pressure people at all. We want it to be a good fit for you. We want it to be a good time in your life. So you can just hop on over there, and we would love to chat with you. We also have tons of free tools on the toolbox of our website, and we're always taking new clients. We have a team of 5 coaches that are fantastic. We are so privileged to work with the most amazing, educated, loving, caring coaches. They're
the
rad.
best. They
and
are
we get
the best.
results.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, thank you guys. This was so fun. We still have questions left. But
Maybe let's save those.
okay. If you guys have questions we didn't answer, we can always try to do it in comments or stories, so let us know. And thanks so much for joining in.
Yep.
We just appreciate you guys so much. It's amazing the difference that is happening in our clients' life. I love all the hearts. It makes me so happy.
It does. We love it when you guys talk to us on here.
Yeah.
Especially Emmy. Like, she used to go through and, like, super
Wave
distract
at everybody,
me. Yeah.
but I try not to anymore. I'm just excited.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right,
guys, come back next week, same place, same time, and we will be chatting about something else super fun and exciting.
Super duper.
Yep. Have a good one.
Have a great week, guys. Bye.
Bye.